The blinding glow of television studio lights has a peculiar way of melting reality, blurring the lines between the physical person we see on screen and the carefully manufactured persona that lives in the public imagination. For over a decade, audiences worldwide have watched the hypnotic, chaotic, and utterly unpredictable evolution of modern celebrity through the lens of reality television, a medium that thrives on the total exposure of human vulnerability. We have witnessed ordinary individuals transformed overnight into household names, their every triumph amplified, and their deepest struggles broadcasted for millions to dissect. This relentless exposure creates a unique kind of modern folklore, where the boundaries of privacy are constantly tested and redrawn. In this hyper-connected landscape, the search for true authenticity becomes a complex puzzle, as the figures on our screens navigate the treacherous waters of fame, public scrutiny, and the ever-present pressure to reinvent themselves. It is a world where identity is both a shield and a commodity, and where the constant demands of an insatiable media cycle force public figures to make choices that challenge our traditional understanding of what is real and what is artifice. As viewers, we often find ourselves drawn into these narratives, fascinated by the spectacle of reinvention and the human stories that unfold beneath the glossy surface of celebrity culture. If you are captivated by these deep dives into the hidden mechanisms of modern fame and the shifting boundaries of digital identity, please take a brief moment to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and join our growing community of media enthusiasts who look beyond the headlines to discover the true stories shaping our digital world. The relationship between a media personality and their audience is a delicate dance of perception, where a single moment can redefine a career and spark a global conversation about the nature of contemporary stardom. Over the years, the mechanisms of celebrity culture have shifted dramatically from traditional Hollywood prestige to a raw, unvarnished form of digital engagement, where personal boundaries are routinely traded for cultural relevance. This shift has created an environment where the public demands total access to the lives of their favorite figures, creating an intense pressure cooker where survival requires constant adaptation and an unwavering willingness to push the boundaries of convention. As we look closer at the forces driving today's media landscape, we begin to see a fascinating pattern of individuals attempting to reclaim control over their own narratives in an era where public perception is easily manipulated and rapidly commodified. The journey through the shifting sands of public attention is rarely smooth, often marked by public reckonings, sudden transformations, and a relentless pursuit of agency in an industry that frequently treats personal identity as a disposable resource. Amidst this backdrop of constant change, a striking new chapter is unfolding in the realm of high-profile media, one that challenges our very understanding of human presence and the future of creative ownership. The conversation surrounding identity has moved far beyond the physical realm, entering a digital frontier where the rules have yet to be written and the stakes are higher than ever before. We are currently witnessing an unprecedented moment where the concept of the self is being decoupled from physical reality, opening up a matrix of possibilities that are as thrilling as they are deeply unsettling. This evolution is not merely about changing appearances or shifting careers, but about a fundamental restructuring of how a public figure can exist in multiple spaces simultaneously, challenging the traditional constraints of time, geography, and even biology. To fully comprehend the magnitude of this shift, one must examine the broader cultural context where technology and human ambition collide, creating a landscape where the visual medium is undergoing a radical metamorphosis. The traditional avenues of publicity, from glossy magazine covers to televised interviews, are being repurposed to serve as testing grounds for radical new concepts of representation and self-expression. As these boundaries dissolve, the public is left to wonder where the human element ends and the technological construct begins, raising profound questions about the future of entertainment and the value of a person's unique likeness. The current state of the media landscape suggests that we are on the precipice of a new era, one defined by an intense struggle for creative autonomy against the backdrop of rapidly advancing technological capabilities that threaten to outpace our ethical frameworks. This struggle is played out not in abstract academic debates, but on the grand stage of global popular culture, where iconic imagery and provocative statements are used to command attention and spark widespread dialogue. The power to captivate an audience today requires more than just a compelling personal story. It demands an understanding of how to navigate a digital ecosystem that is constantly hungry for novelty and disruption. as we prepare to explore the specific events that are currently sending shockwaves through the entertainment industry. It is essential to recognize the courage and calculation required to step into the unknown and redefine what it means to be a visible entity in the 21st century. The unfolding narrative is a testament to the enduring human desire to dominate the media cycle, to remain relevant at all costs, and to pioneer new methods of communication that force the world to stop and pay attention. What begins as a provocative visual statement soon reveals itself to be a complex manifestation of a much larger movement, a deliberate effort to confront the challenges of a digital age where the human form can be replicated, modified, and distributed with the click of a button. The imagery emerging from the latest high-profile international media campaigns serves as a perfect flashpoint for this conversation, capturing the collective imagination and setting the stage for a dramatic exploration of identity, ownership, and the relentless pursuit of individual sovereignty in an increasingly artificial world. The cultural landscape was fundamentally shifted when the iconic international publication Sweden's FHM magazine unveiled a cover that seemed to challenge the very laws of physics and human biology. Gracing the front page was a striking image that commanded immediate attention. A figure completely stripped of clothing, her entire body enveloped in a mesmerizing, reflective sheen of liquid gold. This golden vision belonged to none other than Farrah Abraham, the 35-year-old reality television pioneer who has spent over a decade dominating headlines and polarizing audiences across the globe. However, as viewers gazed at the flawless, gleaming metallic silhouette, a deeper and far more unsettling truth began to emerge from behind the glossy print. What appeared to be a traditional high-fashion glamour shoot was actually a digital illusion, a masterpiece of technological manipulation that represents a massive milestone in the evolution of celebrity media. The woman on the cover was not the physical Farrah Abraham who has walked red carpets and faced the flashbulbs of Hollywood paparazzi for years. Instead, it was an exact, hyper-realistic, AI-generated clone of her likeness, a digital twin meticulously crafted to look indistinguishable from the real human being. This provocative move has sent massive shockwaves through the entertainment industry, igniting a fierce debate about the nature of identity, the future of modeling, and the rapid encroachment of artificial intelligence into the most intimate spheres of human creativity. The creation of this golden digital counterpart was not merely an aesthetic choice or a simple publicity stunt designed to capture fleeting internet clicks. According to Abraham and her team, it was a calculated and deeply philosophical act of defiance. For years, Abraham has been a household name synonymous with the early days of the Teen Mom franchise, a public figure whose physical transformations have been dissected under the harsh microscope of public opinion. She has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on countless cosmetic surgeries, openly documenting a journey that took her through a shifting maze of physical modifications as she sought to define her own standard of beauty. Yet, this latest transformation into an entirely artificial being represents a departure from the physical world altogether. Her longtime manager, Chrissy Johnston, revealed to the media that this groundbreaking photo shoot carries a profound underlying message aimed directly at the darkest corners of the modern internet. The core objective of this project is to actively combat the terrifying exponential rise of artificial intelligence abuse, unauthorized deepfake material, and the digital exploitation of non-consensual likenesses that has begun to plague public figures and ordinary citizens alike. By taking full ownership of her digital identity and creating an official, authorized AI clone, Abraham is attempting to beat the rogue developers at their own game, establishing a legal and ethical blueprint for how artificial personas should be managed. Speaking directly about this radical venture, Abraham explained that the current ethical concerns swirling around artificial intelligence are entirely valid and require immediate, decisive action. She pointed out that society is standing at a critical crossroads, highlighting new legal frameworks being introduced to tackle the menace of malicious deepfakes. Ranging from sweeping federal legislation championed by prominent figures like Melania Trump to the passionate advocacy and growing global movement led by Paris Hilton. For Abraham, the creation of her digital twin through the specialized technological platform OChat is a way to model responsible digital ownership, proving that an individual can navigate the synthetic future without sacrificing their autonomy. She emphasized that the primary goal is to build a safe, legally compliant, and authentically licensed space where her dedicated fanbase can engage with her likeness ethically, providing a secure alternative to unauthorized exploitative and often highly dangerous third-party platforms that thrive on stealing identity. This digital vanguard believes that the true future of technology belongs to systems that empower human beings, safeguard individual identity, and properly reward original creators, rather than a Wild West digital landscape fueled by technology that ruthlessly exploits someone's face and body without explicit permission. However, in true Farrah Abraham fashion, the boundaries were not just pushed, they were completely shattered. To take this conceptual experiment to its absolute limit, it was announced that this newly minted AI twin is scheduled to star in the first ever completely AI-generated celebrity adult video. This incredibly controversial decision is not an isolated event, but rather a direct and calculated tactical move in an ongoing, multi-million-dollar financial and legal war that traces its roots back more than a decade. To understand the immense tension and high stakes surrounding this artificial venture, one must look back to the pivotal year of 2013, when Abraham's life and career were forever altered by the release of her infamous adult video, Farrah Superstar, Backdoor Teen Mom. At the time of its release, Abraham fiercely maintained that the highly explicit footage had been recorded in the absolute privacy of her own home for purely personal consumption, only to later confess that she had been heavily pressured and convinced by a former manager to release it to the public as a radical mechanism to boost her career trajectory. While that original real-world adult tape exploded across the global market, achieving historic commercial success and breaking records within the adult entertainment industry, Abraham has long harbored a deep sense of injustice regarding the financial distribution of those massive profits. Today, she strongly believes that she is rightfully owed millions of dollars in unpaid royalties from those historic sales, a grievance that has simmered beneath the surface for 13 years and is now boiling over into the public eye. The intersection of her past exploitation and her future digital autonomy has created a perfect storm of controversy, where the creation of a synthetic adult video serves as both a philosophical statement and a financial weapon. During a raw and unfiltered appearance on the popular podcast Pillow Talk, Abraham made her financial ambitions crystal clear, looking directly into the microphone and demanding to know the whereabouts of the millions generated by her likeness, declaring that it was finally time to collect the back taxes on her cultural impact. This escalating conflict has moved from the podcast studio directly into the offices of powerful entertainment lawyers, with Abraham's management team actively demanding transparency and historical sales data from Vivid Entertainment, the massive distribution company that originally purchased and marketed the 2013 tape. Her manager, Chrissy Johnston, confirmed that they are digging deep into the original contracts, noting that while they cannot disclose the precise legal language of the non-disclosure agreements, the contract clearly mandated regular, transparent financial reporting from Vivid over the span of the last 13 years. According to Johnston, Abraham has never received a comprehensive, historical accounting of the revenue generated during that entire period, prompting her to issue a formal request for the full data. The response from the distribution giant has only heightened the immense tension, as they allegedly informed Abraham that the requested accounting records would not be provided in the specific format she understood to be contractually required, leaving an ongoing, massive gap in information and a host of unresolved financial questions that Abraham is determined to answer through relentless legal pursuit. This unresolved financial gridlock with distribution giants has only fueled Farrah Abraham's determination to completely redefine how she monetizes and protects her own identity in the modern digital age. The complex struggle over her historical archives serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that physical performance artists face when dealing with traditional distribution structures, making the pivot toward artificial intelligence a logical evolution in her career. Following the explosive release of her original adult video over a decade ago, Abraham chose not to retreat from the public eye, but instead aggressively capitalized on her notoriety, carving out a highly lucrative niche within the global adult entertainment industry. She successfully transitioned from traditional media to high-paying live appearances at premier adult venues across the country, launched her own custom lines of adult novelty items, and eventually established herself as one of the absolute top-earning creators on the premium subscription platform OnlyFans. On that digital platform, she achieved unprecedented financial independence, openly boasting to media outlets that her direct-to-consumer content had successfully transformed her into a highly successful multimillionaire. This immense financial success allowed her to completely reclaim her economic narrative, demonstrating an innate understanding of how to leverage public curiosity into a sustainable, independent business empire that operates entirely on her own terms. Her journey through the shifting landscape of adult entertainment and reality television has always been defined by this relentless drive for autonomy, turning every single public controversy into a stepping stone toward greater financial security and personal independence. Beyond the boundaries of the Teen Mom franchise that originally launched her into the cultural zeitgeist as a pregnant teenager, Abraham has continuously maintained a massive, uninterrupted presence on mainstream television networks for nearly 2 decades. She became a highly sought-after fixture on a wide array of prominent reality programs, navigating the intense emotional dynamics of couples therapy, confronting her physical transformations on the medical docuseries Botched, and engaging in high-stakes social strategy on international editions of Celebrity Brother. Her ability to command attention in any ensemble cast was further demonstrated by her memorable appearances on Marriage Boot Camp and the dramatic reality competition X on the Beach, proving that her unique brand of television personality could consistently drive network ratings. Concurrently, she expanded her professional portfolio into the literary world, authoring several high-profile books, including her deeply personal memoir, My Teenage Dream Ended, which remarkably defied industry expectations to become a certified New York Times bestseller. This literary achievement added a surprising layer of depth to her public profile, illustrating that beneath the chaotic exterior, often portrayed on television, was a woman deeply affected by the early trauma of sudden fame, personal loss, and the isolating experience of young motherhood under a global microscope. Throughout this decades-long journey through the entertainment industry, Abraham has also been famously candid about her extensive relationship with extreme cosmetic surgery, openly discussing a transformative physical odyssey that cost between 6 and 7 figures. She spent years completely altering her facial features and body shape, viewing each surgical procedure as a form of personal empowerment and artistic self-expression in a culture that demands physical perfection from women in the spotlight. However, in an unexpected twist that mirrors her sudden pivot toward virtual modeling, Abraham has recently initiated a profound personal reversal, vowing to significantly scale back on her surgical enhancements in a deliberate effort to reclaim her natural biological beauty. Speaking with remarkable vulnerability in an intimate interview with Us Weekly, the media personality proudly boasted that she had completely eradicated all Botox and artificial fillers from her face, declaring to her fans with newfound confidence that she was finally learning to love her true self. Pronouncing the dawn of a new era with the phrase, Farrah, el natural, she explained that a severe, highly dangerous allergic reaction to facial fillers had served as a dramatic wake-up call, inspiring her to systematically dissolve the synthetic substances in her face and embrace the authentic aging process. This profound realization highlights a fascinating, poetic paradox that lies at the absolute heart of her current cultural moment, as she simultaneously strips away the artificial elements of her physical body while completely embracing a flawless, synthetic digital duplicate for the global stage. It is as if the real-world Farrah Abraham has finally found peace with her natural human form, choosing to offload the immense pressures of physical perfection, glamour modeling, and explicit entertainment onto an indestructible, age-defying AI twin. By transferring the burden of public objectification to a digital clone clothed in liquid gold, she effectively insulates her human self from the toxic criticism that has followed her since adolescence, allowing her to raise her teenage daughter, Sophia, in a more stable and grounded environment away from the direct line of fire. This strategic decoupling of the physical person from the digital commodity represents a sophisticated survival mechanism for the 21st century, offering a glimpse into a future where celebrities can preserve their mental health and privacy by deploying artificial avatars to interact with the insatiable media ecosystem. The golden clone on the cover of FHM Sweden is therefore much more than a technological marvel or a provocative image. It is a shield, a manifesto, and a legal boundary marker in a rapidly evolving digital Wild West. As federal lawmakers and cultural advocates continue to debate the legal definition of identity and the ethics of deepfake technology, Abraham has positioned herself at the absolute forefront of the conversation, turning a personal struggle for financial royalties into a pioneering campaign for digital human rights. The outcome of her ongoing legal battle with traditional distributors, combined with the commercial reception of her upcoming AI-generated video projects, will undoubtedly establish critical legal and financial precedents for the next generation of content creators. Ultimately, this narrative underscores a fundamental truth about the nature of modern fame. In an era where technology can replicate our voices, faces, and bodies with terrifying precision, the ultimate form of power is the total, undisputed ownership of one's own likeness. Farrah Abraham's journey from a vulnerable reality television subject to the